Well, good evening, my friends, and thank you for joining me this evening. Today is Wednesday, October 24th, 2018, and we're just 13 days away to the midterm elections to see who is going to take the Senate. Many of us woke into the breaking news this morning that was unfolding in the busy streets of downtown Manhattan, where a suspicious package was mailed to Time Warner's / CNN studios there, addressed to former CIA agent John Brennan, who has been on CNN a few times, as many of us know. Of course, we soon learned that the suspicious package was indeed a pipe bomb. However, fortunately did not explode. We know that this pipe bomb was reported to be laced with deadly projectiles, and of course was believed to have a suspicious package of some sort of a white powdery substance in it, possibly resin. We don't know. Many of us again are still kind of trying to wrap our heads around everything that happened this morning. Again, this is not the first time. It started yesterday, I believe it was, where a suspicious package was believed to have been mailed to far leftist George Soros. Many of us know who is a far leftist who was reported to have been funding the Hillary campaign a while back, and is also believed to be funding these far leftist antifa protesters, as many of you may know. Which I like to kind of refer to as domestic terrorists, in my honest opinion. Why would anybody, in their right mind want to hide their faces and call everyone else racist when their skin color is the same? But if many of you kind of think about it, what does Antifa and the KKK both have in common? I'll let you kind of sit there and think about that before I give you the answer to that, which I'm sure some of you should already be aware of what that means. First and foremost, they're a far leftist group, and of course they are. What do they all have in common? Well, for one, they're Democrats, and two, for many of you who may know, the Democratic Party many years ago was the same party who was reported to be funding the KKK, as many of you may know. And what do Antifa and the KKK have in common? Well, they like to hide their faces, for one. Two, they're both white as well. All due respect, because I'm half white, half Latino, for those of you who know me. But that's besides the point. Antifa likes to hide their faces. Well, most of them do anyways, just like, the KKK did. But the only difference is, you can't really reason with these people because they don't really care to listen to reason. You simply say, God bless America, and suddenly you're the bigot, you're the Nazi, you're the racist, you're this and you're that. But at the same time you think about it, these are the same people who are running around hiding their faces just like the KKK did, a Democratic Party which was funded by the group which was funded by the Democratic Party, as many of you may know. And Antifa is doing the same. And of course, many of us know, even though they're far leftists, they are Democratic followers. So many of them obviously are still really upset over the fact that Hillary did not win in 2016. Even though many of them swore she would, including Barack Obama. And when she didn't win, of course, she went on this big blame game tour, started blaming everybody, started blaming Russia, started blaming men for not letting enough women vote for her, started blaming everybody, as many of you seen. And, excuse me if I'm out of breath, I'm out here walking. But again, with that being said, that's besides the point. Many of us, again, as I've said, we saw the breaking news this morning where there were reported to be, suspicious packages mailed to multiple senators. One of them, which was supposed to have been mailed to former Attorney General Eric Holder, ended up getting sent out to who is it? Debbie Wasserman Schultz offices in Florida, and of course another again to Bill and Hillary Clinton, one to Barack Obama and Michelle's place as well, and of course George Soros, as many of you may know again, and trying to think who else. Maxine Waters, the infamous Maxine Waters, as many of you may know. It was just recently she was giving some sort of a speech to a group of far leftist protesters, should I say, and she was encouraging them to get in the faces of these senators everywhere, to follow them into restaurants, follow them into gas stations, laundromats, wherever they may go, get in their faces, according to Maxine Waters. And of course, many of you may have heard Eric Holder, former Attorney General Eric Holder, even go on to say, when they go low, we kick them. And, many of us already get what he meant by that. And, pretty much what they're pushing for is uncivility among the Republican and Democratic party, more or less the voters. And it's a game of bullying, more or less, by the Democratic Party. But they sit there and they try to say the Republican Party is the problem. We're not the problem. We're not the one running the streets. We're causing all these issues now. We're not the ones running around viciously trying to, attack people and, spit in people's faces for their political beliefs and call people bigots and racists and, everything else in the book, because you stand for free speech and for the right to bear arms, and you support police, and most of all, you support securing our borders and making our country a safer place for all of Americans and keeping Americans first, and stop worrying about what's happening in other countries. Which leads me to another example. Most of these people, they cry foul, whenever, we're at war. Like, many of you remember 9/11. Obviously, the whole world was watching when that tragic event unfolded in 2001. And, everybody saw the horrific photo till the towers collapsing. And then, of course, when we went to war in Afghanistan, well, what was many people's excuse? Well, we can't keep fighting other people's wars. Blah, 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 blah. Bush is just trying to start a war and this and that. We can't keep fighting but key word was we can't keep fighting other people's wars. But at the same time, if you say we can't keep fighting other people's wars, why should we keep bringing people in from other countries that don't belong here? And that's the thing that really gets to me. Why? That makes you sound like a hypocrite. And that's pretty much what the Democratic Party really is. Nothing but a bunch of two-faced hypocrites. Like I said, perfect example, a bunch of white guys calling another group of white guys a bunch of neo-Nazis and fascists and racists because, we stand for freedom and we stand for our Second Amendment rights. We stand for our right to free speech. And, we're the fascists and the racists? I don't think so. When you're the same group who's running around shouting racism, talking about death to the police officers and this and that and whatever else, and so on. And, the way I see things now, it's going to get worse, leading up to the November 6th midterm election. And with the way things are looking now, more people are beginning to lean more toward the Republican Party than they are, the Democratic Party. Plenty of examples. Look at the footage the other day of the it was that Antifa member. Many of you saw that disgusting, vile insult toward the widow of a 9/11 hero, where he was following her in the middle of the street just seconds before the coward ran, when the widow's son was chasing after him, where he went on to call the widow's husband. He went on to state, and I quote, "I hope your husband is rotting in his grave," just before the son turned back to him to chase him off, as he ran like a coward after saying a sick, cowardly thing like that. And nothing can absolutely justify those kinds of words, okay? It just doesn't get much lower than that when you insult the widow of a 9/11 hero. And that's the whole problem today, with the Dems and with everything that they stand for. And, if we don't get out there and vote now, how are you ever going to let your voice be heard? You can't let your voice be heard by mailing suspicious packages to all these senators, because then you're just pretty much scooting to the same row as Antifa. If this is not an inside job from Antifa to try to intimidate people on the right, to sit there and say, hey, look, this is not right. These people are, now people on the right are starting to mail suspicious packages to people, to Democratic senators and so on. Oh, that's not right. I'm going to vote Democrat now. No, that's the whole plan from the Democratic Party. They want people to feel sorry for them. And with everything that's going on now, as I've said again, you need to, if you really want to let your voice be heard, get out there and vote. That's the best way to get through this, friends. And with that being said, that's my 2 cents for this day, because there really is a lot going on, and if we don't get out there and vote, then what are we going to do, my friends? We got to let our voices be heard, and the only way to do that is to get out there and vote. Vote red. Let's do what we can to make America great again, my friends. And with that being said, we're going to definitely continue to keep our eyes on this breaking situation that it's unfolding with these suspicious packages, of course. And let's definitely, keep a watchful eye, because, things are definitely getting really intense over these next couple of days. So, again, with that being said, if we have any more breaking news, we'll do my very best to bring that to you. And with that being said, if you're looking forward to following my channel for further updates leading up to the midterms, feel free to subscribe, and I will be more than glad to update you soon. All right? God bless everyone.